thing.
We look great.
I mean, I could do better, but I think you guys would probably stab me if I spent the rest of the night trying to set up the lighting.
Yeah, and
I mean, we're on hour 3 of being here, but
yeah. And Toad's not there, so it looks really off-centered, but
it's all right.
it's a good setup for when he is there.
Should I go get the blow-up sex
Where do you
doll?
have a mannequin?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Damn it.
I don't have a mannequin.
Can you go get Stacy?
The sex doll?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
That's private.
Let me go get mine.
That's private.
Is it in the trunk?
Yeah.
Like it should be?
Well, there's one in the trunk. There's one. I keep one in my passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Got it for the carpool lane,
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of those in Spencer. No? All right.
And so people don't, break into your car because they think someone's sitting in it.
Well, you guys good to go? Let's rock and roll. All right, guys.
I'm very unprepared, but yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, it's a Thanksgiving. This is our Thanksgiving.
It seems
podcast,
like
so
we're saying this
be.
a lot. Like we're like, hey guys, so we're it's Saturday night, so you know what to expect.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yep.
No, we're gonna get this started. This is welcome to episode 17 of the Life Short and Live Free podcast. We are down a member today. Toad called me a little bit ago, and he sounded like absolute hammer dog shit. So he couldn't make it in. He's definitely under the weather. He said he was actually in bed. So
I don't believe that. He was totally on his
What a
couch
bum.
watching fishing shows.
he might have been. Whatever. If he, you
Watching
know what?
fishing shows.
If he cared enough to act for me, I don't. Whatever. It is what it is. But I think everybody's kind of under the weather. Box, you said you weren't feeling the best. Johnson, you've been sick for days.
Yep.
I'm not sick, but I just got this tickle started today.
I thought you were pointing to that terrible beard.
Hey, you leave the beard out of it. It's hidden in the video, and can't see it.
Wait for 3 or 4 days. It'll be more than a tickle. You'll probably end up with what I got.
I hope not. But anyways, we got a good show lined up for you. We're going to talk about the U.S. Marshals got the new an STI 2011 issued to them, covering the ridiculous Virginia gun ban. Of course, we got our whiskey of the week. Talk about some other gun stuff. Our badass of the week. What a douche. And then we're gonna get into something. I don't even know how to describe
Typical Saturday night discussions.
Typical Saturday
say.
night debauchery. We should say so.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is if you guys are listening to this, it's at least a week after Thanksgiving, and just about a week after. We're recording this on a Saturday night. So everybody's kind of still in vacation mode. But you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Mine was fairly good. How about you, Johnson?
Mine was okay. We did my dad's side of the family. We did our Thanksgiving a week ago, but my mom's side was on Thanksgiving, and I didn't make it because I didn't want to get a bunch of kids sick. So we didn't go, but we ended up.
That's too bad.
Work had gave me a gift card to Hy-Vee, so we actually went into Hy-Vee Thursday morning and got a bunch of ingredients and stuff. So we had our own little Thanksgiving dinner at home, just the wife, the boy, and I. So it was still pretty good. It was a good, relaxing day where we just kind of hung out and made some food and
Oh, that's good. You
had a good time.
You kind of do sound like hammered dog shit too, a little bit. You can definitely tell in your voice that you've.
Yeah, I've just had a sore throat for the last 5 or 6 days every morning and coughing and just haven't felt that great. But
I was gonna make a joke about a sore throat, but it's pretty early in the episode for that. So, Box. Well, I obviously know how your Thanksgiving was because it was with me. But
so
what'd
terrible.
You think of it? What'd you think of
I hated it. And there was this guy named Sam there, and he just annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, you've had the last.
It was good.
You've had the last what 9 days off. You've been on vacation
Since
extraordinaire.
The Thursday before this last Thursday. Yeah.
Nice.
Of course, I spent the first 2.5 days of that laying on my couch, being
Miserable.
sick like everyone else. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they at least give you the option to pay out the vacation?
I didn't want the option.
No.
I don't want to go back to that place.
Yeah. Because that's like
I'm
how-
getting paid to not be there. I'm taking that option.
Yeah, that's kind of how ours is they'll either let you pay out the vacation in your sick time, or you can just take it at the end of the year and burn it all
I
up.
think they would probably pay it out, but they say that it's either use it or lose it. But when I when I left there a few years ago, I still had 2 weeks of vacation left, or a week or something like that. I don't remember. But when I was going to quit and come work with Sam, and they were like, well, you don't have to work the next 2 weeks if you don't want to. We'll just pay out your vacation, and you can spend the next week or 2 weeks, whatever it was, moving and getting ready for your next job. So, I mean, they're all right about it, but
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I don't get shit for vacation. My boss is kind of an asshole. But
yeah.
Speaking of which, this podcast is sponsored by Shyworks Cerakote. We are Cerakote certified, factory trained and certified from Cerakote. So if you want something done, check out shyworks.com or facebook.com/shyworks. We're always posting new projects. We're always like a good challenge. So if you got a good idea for us, give us a shout. So. Yeah, it is Saturday night, fellas. So I'm
Sam,
kind of what?
You said give us a shout there. I was thinking about that. What our sister said earlier about having people having a voicemail line. Should we? What do you think the listeners? Do you think they would go for that if we had a voicemail line that they could call in and ask questions that we would play on the air?
Well,
or do you think we would get a bunch of
I think most of it would be
awful shit.
Probably James just kind of berating us.
Yeah.
And other people making fun of us, but it might be interesting. You know?
I thought it could be a good idea. I mean, we don't have to not listen to him before we play him on the air.
Yeah.
Hey, you're jumping the gun there.
It'd be a good idea. I mean, it's something we could look into. If you guys listening to this would be interested in leaving us a voicemail, and we could obviously play it during the podcast and respond to it. I think that might be a good idea. That might be kind of fun. So that's something we should look into and see.
I think it could go downhill quick, but I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, well, it depends. You know, I think it'd be fun.
I don't think we're big enough where people are going to want to.
Yeah, probably not yet.
Mess with us too much.
Probably not yet, but
so Sam, I hate to disappoint you, but this is
there's no pop top. Can you stick your thumb in it and? All right, so you know what that means. It is whiskey of the week.
Hey, soundbite idea.
Whiskey of the week.
Yeah, there you go.
So of course this is Johnson supplied this. It is Maker's Mark.
Not real creative. We know.
Not real creative.
Well, actually, I've been wanting to try this for quite some time now. So, I'm kind of excited.
Ambitious, huh?
All right.
I guess that's about what Sam always pours.
It better be freaking good. So
I will say it does make a nice noise coming out of the bottle.
It is. Very nice pour. Very nice pour.
Well, let's see.
I've got a glass full of whiskey here already. I'll just taste yours.
Well, that'll wake your ass right up.
Let's read about this.
Not bad.
Does smell good.
Does smell good.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Is it
not bad?
Is it soft, rich, creamy, and full-bodied yet balanced?
Did you?
I would call it soft and full-bodied.
It's definitely.
I don't know about creamy.
It doesn't have the.
I'm not much of a.
It doesn't have the extreme burn to a lot of them that we've been having.
It has a nose burn. It doesn't have a throat burn. It has more of a nose burn than a throat burn.
Yeah. I think this is the kind of thing a guy drinks when he's got a.
I think that would be pretty darn good on the rocks.
Nope. So if you're just listening to the podcast,
hum into your glass. What was that?
If you're just listening to the podcast and we're not talking, obviously we're sampling this new whiskey that
we're getting hammer drunk
that we just tried. So it's I don't know.
I think it's pretty good.
I think
it's not as flavorful. I think as.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. It doesn't have a lot of
some of the others, but it's just very smooth.
So we are looking off camera. We did actually get our podium set up for our top 3 whiskeys of the week.
I think we should get that set up actually, because this could be a contender.
Yeah, let's
So right now we got
Properties up
1792 on top, Old Camp in second, and Jesse James in third.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to make a run for right up in the top there.
I don't know about the top.
I think it's a contender for second place.
Actually, I've been drinking some of these while you guys, aren't around, and
You're drinking my whiskey while I'm not here?
yeah, pretty
You
much.
son of a bitch.
Dude,
What a scumbag.
This whole thing, Whiskey of the Week, was just a ploy to get free whiskey from you suckers. So it's
Well, it
working out
worked.
pretty good for me so
Great.
far.
We
It
all
worked.
leave it here sitting on the fridge, so...
So, I think it's better than Jesse James. I will say I think it's better than Jesse James.
Yeah.
I know it'll take over top 3, but Old Camp, I would have to try Old Camp again. But I remember drinking 1792, and I don't think it's as good as 1792.
Well,
You guys slam those glasses real quick and
Yeah,
we'll compare.
actually,
pound these.
I just had some 1792 the other day. What was I doing? I was making a video or something, and I was drinking a little bit of whiskey to go with it. And I think they're right in the same ballpark. But how do you? The question is, how do you judge one over the other? Because it's
Flavor
going to be
profile,
totally
smoothness.
but it's going to be completely by opinion.
It's going to be
one person
objective
might
for
think
sure,
this is
but
way better, and the other person might think the 1792 is way better. So I don't know. I think they're both good. They're both definitely delicious whiskeys.
This is going to become tough, though, because we're going to have... There's a lot of good whiskeys out there, so we can't just be like, oh, well, this is tough to decide. We can't dethrone the other one.
Maker's is smoother. Is definitely smoother and not as much burn as any of these top 3 currently.
I think that 1792 is just as smooth as the Maker's
I don't
Mark.
think so.
And I think the flavors, there's it's almost like a warmer flavor, like almost like a chocolate flavor to the 1792, like a chocolate or caramel flavor.
We'll take a pull out of it, see what you think.
Yeah,
compared to
there's only one solution to this problem. We're going to have to try these whiskeys.
Try them all. Yeah. I think it definitely knocks that off. I think it definitely takes out Jesse James.
I agree. I think Jesse James is off the board.
Jesse James, it's a delicious whiskey, but it'll be... that's
It
something
is
you
good, but
pour a little bit with 7 Up
I'm
or
gonna
whatnot.
I'm gonna try Old Camp again,
And by the way, guys, if you're if this is one of your first podcasts just tuning in, this is one of our regular segments. We love the whiskey, but don't worry, we start talking about guns right shortly. I
don't know. Taking another sip of that. That's a pretty good flavor like that.
It's I'd
put it at number 2.
You think it's better than Old
I think
Camp?
it kicks Old Camp down to 3 and Jesse James out. Because that's the one that's got the caramel.
You don't think
flavor
it's
that
better
you
than
have to get up.
1792?
Well, I can't. I'd have to try that one.
I'm
currently drinking it, but
I think it's a little bit better. I think it's a little smoother.
This isn't the best drinking bottle.
No.
It doesn't have as much. It's got enough burn. It's obviously still a whiskey, but it doesn't have as much as a.
Nope, it's number 2. Number 2 for Maker's Mark. For me, anyways.
Well, Johnson just made love to the whiskey, and he's sick, so maybe I don't really know if I want
Number 2.
to try that now.
I would agree. Number 2.
Maker's is number 2?
Yep.
All right. I'll take your word for it. I agree with you.
You don't want to try that?
No, Johnson just all over it. I don't know.
Your tongue flicking is really grossing me out.
No, I would.
I don't know, that's okay. Let's do it. Kick that son of a bitch out earlier.
All right.
So we got
Camp down to 3.
All right. Well,
and for the actual whiskey drinkers, we're not like whiskey smart people.
Well,
a few guys that like to get drunk.
We're generally not smart at all, but
we're not going to be like, ooh, it's full and bold and brash.
Yeah.
We're just going to be like, well, it tastes good.
Got
Yeah.
hints of mahogany and rich leather.
Not real whiskey connoisseurs who know exactly what to look for and what we're judging
I can taste
on.
the rye. I don't know what the rye tastes like.
Right. Is it like bread? Yeah. I like marbled rye on on a sandwich, but I don't know how that translates to whiskey, I guess, but
So, I guess we've spoken enough about the whiskeys for tonight. We're gonna be hard pressed to get some of these, something that's gonna beat these top two contenders for sure.
yeah.
This old camp was only like what, $20 or something like that.
That's all the maker's mark was. For 750 it was only 20.
Oh, that's not bad.
$25 or something.
So as I said, obviously we're a podcast about freedom, so we cover a lot of shit. Talk about the whiskeys a lot, obviously, but we're kind of more focused on the Second Amendment and guns. And that's kind of our main focus, I would say. And I ran across an article that really piqued my interest a while back. And this is not an extremely new article. This came out in July, but I just saw it. And it's the U.S. Marshals Special Operations Groups. They adopted the STI 2011 pistols. If you're not familiar with 2011, they're based off essentially a 1911, but they're a 9mm double stack. So I mean, they look extremely similar, but the frame, instead of being all all metal, it's got a polymer grip area. And frankly, just as a purely aesthetic standpoint, man, they look good.
They're pretty gorgeous.
They're just, and I've never
beautiful.
been a guy that's been that attracted to 1911s. I'm a self-admitted Glock fanboy, and I've always been that way. I've never really got into the 1911s that much, but lately I've just been, I don't know any other word for it other than lusting after some 2011s. But they're expensive.
Well, and the STIs, like the Staccato P, and STI has a full lineup of 2011s, and all of them are just drop dead gorgeous. I mean,
yeah,
I know a lot of people that think Ed Browns and stuff like that are beautiful, and they are very nice guns, but boy, these STI Staccato Ps are just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I would definitely buy one if I had the money.
If I had the funds, I would for sure.
Well, they're usually
buy a
what?
Staccato P. Yeah.
The STIs are around $2,000 a piece.
I think the Staccato P, like a base price, is like $2,200 to $2,500, somewhere in there.
That sounds high to me. I thought it was lower than that. I thought it was in the lower thousands.
I guess
But
I don't know.
I could be totally wrong.
Either way, they're way out
For
of
some
our
reason, I
price
thought they were
range.
$2,000, $2,200 to $2,500.
But anyways, so the Marshals they didn't give them to all their Marshals. It's just a special operations group that they gave them to. So I think there's around like 120 of them that are going to be given these. But the reasoning behind them is the same reason 2011s are so popular for competitive shooting. Is you get 20 rounds of 9mm. They're extremely flat shooting, not a lot of recoil. Obviously, the gun is a little bit heavier than most, so that helps eat up some of the recoil. They're just damn nice guns. But I was kind of surprised that a law enforcement group would be going towards these, because typically most of them are, really Glock has kind of taken over a lot of the law enforcement in the last 10 years. That's the way a lot of them is going. So it's interesting to see these guys going a completely opposite direction.
Right, but like you said, it's a lot easier for them to justify the cost of something like this when they're only buying 120 of them or 100, a couple hundred of them versus, hundreds of thousands possibly, when you're talking about changing a service pistol for the Army or whatever. It's a lot easier to justify the cost of a really high-end pistol like that when it's for such a small group.
So to date, they've purchased 160 STI pistols for their special operation group.
So
operators.
I just looked, and the Staccato P, the base not cut for a red dot is $2,000, and then the Staccato P Duo, which is set up, already has the slide cut for the red dot, is $24.99. So.
And these were cut for red dots. They had a Delta Point Pros on them, I believe, with custom Dawson precision sights
Yeah.
on them. So yeah, these sons of bitches are going to be around $3,000
Right.
per piece. But they only purchased 160 of them.
Right.
Taxpayer money.
So how does that work for duty pistols? Do they have to? Do you still have to pay in a bit to get, or does it?
It depends on the department. It depends on the department. Like Sioux City Police Department, they will pay like a certain amount towards your duty pistol. But if you want to buy, say you wanted to buy a Glock 20, 10 millimeter, right? They'll pay, say they'll pay $500.
Well, yeah, I know you can use your own and get them approved and stuff like that. But in like this case, are all these U.S. Marshals just getting these free STIs?
Possibly.
Like, here's your new STI. Don't bother paying a dime.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, like I said,
I would assume
amazing.
so.
Like just walk into work and be like, here's your brand new $2,000 pistol.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it depends on the department. And a lot of like federal departments like that, it is going to be just here it is. This is your new duty pistol.
Well, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's what this is, because the U.S. Marshals are already their own. I mean, just not everybody and their mom can walk in there and get in there. And plus, this is their special operations group. So this is just basically their elite guys that do. They take care of extremely high profile prisoner transfers, terrorist situations, just extremely high profile stuff. So it's not, these guys are extremely highly trained. So that these aren't just average Joes on any department.
These are the guys that are taking care of like even the FBI's most wanted and stuff. Like a lot of times the U.S. federal marshals are looking for those people as well, and they'll take care of that kind of stuff. But
damn, I wish somebody would give me an STI.
Right?
That just sounds. Doesn't that sound dirty? STI.
Well,
I wish somebody would give me an STI.
It totally is.
Yeah, but I would definitely buy one if I had the means. I would buy one.
I don't know if I would buy one before I would buy a CZ Shadow 2.
That's a tough one.
They are. They just do something to me.
Yeah.
I just think they're freaking gorgeous. And I know they're nice guns, just like STIs are. But
yeah.
So I'm doing a build, and I've talked about it before, but I basically took my cheap ass Taurus 1911. I got the slide milled on it. I'm making some custom grips for it, turning it into a railed frame. So it's going to be basically the look that I'm going for is after a 2011 look. Obviously, there's only so much you can do with a 1911 compared to a 2011. But I think it's going to look pretty friggin' sharp. And the way that a 2011 grip is formed is the actual grip itself is all polymer. It's not a metal frame like the standard 1911. So they can do a lot more of a wraparound feel.
Does that depend on manufacturer? Is that just a standard thing with the 2011s?
I don't know if a 2011 is standardized near as much as like a 1911. I would assume so. I would assume that there's a designs a little bit. So, I mean, it's similar to an AR that you can swap parts with, but I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me on it. But I think so, to a certain extent at least. But the main thing is that polymer grip and the way that it looks. I just love the way that it looks. So I'm building some new grips that are going to essentially replicate the wraparound look of the 2011 to go on my 1911. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm pretty freaking excited for it. My CNC guy is milling my slide. He said he was going to stick it in the CNC machine on Monday. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll have it back by the end of the week, hopefully. So
can I just give you a congratulations on successfully saying replicate?
I know. Did you see how much concentration it took me? I had to stop and think about it for a second and say replicate.
He's got the right beer to word ratio going on right now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Give me a half hour. We'll see how that works out.
But I'm somewhat surprised no one has come out with those style grips.
Almost like a
aftermarket for
1911s style kit.
I'm somewhat surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Well, the deal is they're totally. I mean, the design,
the
is
dimensions
so much
and everything is so completely different.
Whereas, I mean, if you want new grips on a 2011, you buy the whole new grip panel. So that whole piece itself is one piece. It's not like you just take off grips and put them on.
Well, yeah, but
But like a wraparound piece for that you can screw on to a 1911, that replicates the feel of a 2011.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
right.
that would be.
So essentially, that's what I'm working on making. It's not going to be an actual wraparound, but it's going to replicate and look like it wraps around. Essentially, it's hard to explain, but once I'll make a video. I'm in the process of making a video about this whole thing. So I'll show you guys what exactly I'm talking about. And it's going to be a sweet little gun when I'm done with it. So,
well, you wouldn't be able to own it in Virginia.
No, those dirty sons of bitches. So if you guys haven't heard, the Virginia legislature went back to over
why you had too much
early November elections, went completely back to Democrat. So they got both chambers of the House, or both chambers of Congress, as well as the governorship. So as soon as this happened,
it was like the day after.
Yeah, they filed a bill, and what it does is essentially bans. They didn't just go after assault weapons per se. That's not even a fucking word. But they went after
2 words.
Essentially, they went after every single firearm. So any firearm that can accept any magazine over 10 rounds. So basically, every pistol, every commonly owned self-defense pistol, will be banned. And this is as far as when we say banned, we don't say you can't buy them. You can't own them. You cannot possess them. You have to get rid of them. So it's essentially confiscation without justification. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's no you got to get rid of them, and you don't get freaking paid for them.
Yeah, and there's no compensation is the word you were looking for.
Yes.
But it's not even like there's no grandfather clause. There's no if you own these before this date, that's okay. It's nothing. It's if you own these, you are going to be a felon.
And it's I believe, and don't take my word at this, but I believe it's any shotguns that hold over 7 rounds. So as well as pistols, rifles, shotguns, everything. I mean, so essentially all you can own is 3-round duck shotguns. You know, that you take out duck on revolvers. And because the majority of handguns can accept magazines over 10 rounds, so those are going to be banned. As well as, and here's the interesting thing, Box, what are you looking up over there? The training aspect of it? Yes. So essentially they went after training too.
I read this.
If you got
when I read this,
it
just
Box.
blew my mind.
It says Senate Bill number 64 would make it a Class 5 felony to give any type of instruction or training involving a firearm and demonstrate using guns of any kind as it may be perceived as intimidating. Specifically, Section 3 prohibits demonstrating with, quote, intent of intimidating any person or group of persons by drilling, parading, or marching with any firearm, any explosive or incendiary device, or any components or combination thereof.
So they basically just gave a blanket statement that basically said if we catch you training with any firearms, you're going to be a Class 5
I don't
felon.
get, because like the basis of most of their arguments a lot of the time is we just want people to be safe with them. Go get training. We require you to get training. Now they're like, no, you can't have training. Don't get training.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be a felon if you train with your firearm. If you want to learn how to use that firearm safely, felon.
You're not allowed to learn how to defend yourself.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's pretty
You can't own any firearms, and if you do own any firearms that meet our ridiculous requirements, if you think you're going to go out and try and shoot them safely, nope, you're going to be a felon.
Yeah, because
it's all just a blanket statement to make everybody who is a firearm owner a felon. That is all the whole thing is about.
Well, I mean, because essentially everything we do on a monthly basis, every 2 weeks we go out and shoot between us, and
Yeah, it would make us felons in that state.
That's banned. That's
like,
illegal.
A lot of bills that are
Because the way
throughout the nation, I can kind of see the other side where they just don't understand. They don't get the gun culture. They don't understand things like that. So they put stupid laws out there that they don't fully understand. But this one,
wording in it,
it's so
blatant that no, we don't want guns out here. We don't want you to be safe with them. We just don't want them here at all.
Exactly. There's
not just a misunderstanding from them.
Wording that they use, the perceived, that one word.
Sam, click on the video.
That one word.
Give me the mouse.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
That's the one thing that made the whole thing like just a complete debauchery to me. Because when you say perceived, that gives, there's objectification.
Them the license to do whatever the they want with
exactly, because anybody can perceive something as something it's not. And that's the part that drives me.
So essentially what this is for many, 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 many years, they've called us nuts, basically for saying that, well, you're going after guns, you're going after our complete Second Amendment. And they've said, no, we just want reasonable restrictions. And now after Beto O'Rourke made it pretty much mainstream, he essentially said that, yes, we're going to take your shit. That's our intent. We're going to take your stuff. And now that they've swung so far left, and we hate talking about politics on this show. I don't enjoy talking about politics. You guys don't enjoy listening to it, but this is so important. They've essentially made it mainstream to say, fuck your Second Amendment rights. We don't agree with the Second Amendment. It needs to be gone. And that's exactly what they're doing with this.
And one thing that I've noticed that has really driven me absolutely insane over the last 2 weeks is on YouTube. You'll get these ads, and the only ads that you'll see are for Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and this Andrew Yang. And Andrew Yang, on one of his YouTube commercials, his biggest, the main headline of this ad is, we're in the 21st century and we need to change the rules so that they work for us.
No, that's not how this works.
You don't agree with the rules, so you're just going to change the rules so they work for you? That's not how that works. That's not how government works, you dipshit.
No.
That's like his whole slogan is that we're in the 21st century and we need to change the rules so that they work for us.
Right. And
that's not how.
Well, I mean, that's the way, and without turning this into a political bitch fest, that's essentially the way that the left is going at this point. I mean, they're pissed about how the 2016 election worked out, so they're trying to change the whole rules of it. The worst part is as far as the election process and impeachment and all that shit. But I digress. Let's not bitch too much about politics. I'm
gonna bitch one more little bit. Is that
bitch and I'll get a beer.
Grab me one while you're at it. They have made it a point to even say that the impeachment process and all the shit that they're giving Trump is strictly because they don't want the same outcome to happen in 2020.
Yeah, AOC
they have made it completely apparent that we can't let this happen again. We can't let Trump win again. So it's not about this is wrong and we need to change this, or this is my idea for this. It's we can't let him win again. We need to do something because we can't let him win again. That's all it's about. That's the whole.
That sounds ridiculous, but you're completely correct. AOC literally said this is about stopping something bad from happening in 2020, and what she meant by that was the people by reelecting Trump.
Yes.
And Pelosi, the Democrats' leader,
Yep.
She literally said that it's dangerous to let. She wants to impeach because she said it's dangerous to let the American people decide the 2020 election.
Mm-hmm.
So that just tells you. But I'm sorry. Once again, we always digress into this political hole, and we're gonna digress into it a little bit more.
Sorry, Box. I know how much
I was just looking up at the topic board and saw.
But this
sorry,
is
Box.
this is
I know
right
how
on,
much you hate this.
No,
shit,
I was
but-
okay.
This is right on target with Virginia is the NRA's home state. That's where they're based out of, and there's so many gun owners so disappointed with the direction that the NRA has been taking. And at first, I mean, it started long before this, but this is kind of the whole problem reared its ugly head when Trump, one of the few things that he's done that I completely was pissed about and completely disagreed about, he went after bump stocks, and the NRA agreed with him, and I think that really rubbed a lot of gun owners wrong. And that's not the only reason.
You think?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of I mean, I know on the internet there's a big deal between, boomers and
That dumb shit. Don't get me started on that. That's worse than politics.
I know that, and that's so stupid. But I think there's some merit behind the argument, because a lot of older gun owners who are strictly
FUDs. We call them FUDs.
Yeah. Okay. They're strictly, pheasant hunters or quail hunters, or
And they don't understand why you need more than 3 rounds in your shotgun.
Right. They don't
I've hunted with a double barrel for 25 years, and I never
Right.
needed nothing more.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else has.
Right. And I think that I would like to see the numbers for NRA memberships in the last 2 years.
It's dropped.
I feel like it's
got
gotta have gone down by 50%.
And Wayne,
just like, because I was an NRA member up until 2017, and in 2017 when they passed that deal, I was like, I'm not renewing my membership. You guys aren't doing shit. I'm not going to give you my money to do absolutely nothing.
There's a side to that where it could be beneficial to us to be NRA members, which I know, NRA, screw them. We don't want to be a part of that. But it's just like
it's
being...
still a gun lobbying group.
Well, no, it's just like being a citizen of the United States. You
don't agree
you
with
have
everything
have a vote in that. If you go to the national convention, they have meetings and shit like that. And last year, things about boiled over.
Right.
There's a lobbying group there that I'm pretty sure they had security guys watching them and everything, because they were against what the NRA was all about, and they were like, "No, we don't want you to have anything to do with it." So they're lobbying to get more members in the NRA, so they can help steer it back in the right direction.
Right.
Which there's no other way. I mean, how else can you do it? If you're not in the
the
NRA,
way to
they don't
steer
really
the
give a
NRA,
shit.
I think the way to steer the NRA back into the right direction is to get Wayne LaPierre out of the number one position.
And
in
he
the
just
NRA.
got a 57% pay raise this year, and that really
wasn't
rubbed
that was like the
that rubbed a lot of people wrong.
Where all the problems were coming from, where it all started, where he was spending all this money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Box, I'm on the same plane as you about this. Like it or not, the NRA has been at the forefront of the Second Amendment fight for years and years. And there's been a lot of shit that they've done that I disagree with. There's been a lot of shit that Trump does that I disagree with. But you still support them. And as far as the Second Amendment goes, what other lobbying group is out there as big as that's going to fight for us? Yes, there are some other good ones. And if you're a member of those, hell yeah, stay with them and support them. But I think
that's the issue. Is I don't think any of the other organizations have as much pull. So that's the benefit of being an NRA member.
Some out there that aren't necessarily lobbying organizations, but they're a group of lawyers, say Firearms Policy Coalition.
Right.
Those guys are huge, and they're growing a lot over the last couple years. And they're just a group of, I'm pretty sure they're just a group of lawyers, and they're out there fighting for
pro bono, just doing their shit for no other reason other than they love the America and they love the Second Amendment.
And I think that's how it should be done.
Yeah, and that's how I think that's how the NRA started. Was doing it for the fact that they are about the American way and love the Second Amendment.
The thing that pisses me off so bad is you'll be in these Facebook gun groups, and I get in arguments all the time.
Facebook gun groups are a damn
that's convenient,
joke.
Sam. Don't bother shutting off your air compressor. That's just our studio air compressor, folks. Don't mind.
No, I don't know what it is about. Holy shit,
God,
that's loud, especially when you get the door open. Woo! But no, I understand being a part of the NRA because it is the biggest lobbying group for the Second Amendment, right? I mean, if you're not a part of it, you're not really helping the cause because they are the biggest force that we have to help support the Second Amendment. But I don't know. For me, it's hard.
Like I said, if you're not a member, you can't go to the national convention, and you can't get in on the meetings, and you can't tell them what you want. I mean, there's a lot of
voice
people,
can't be heard
there's
at that
a
point.
lot of people that feel exactly the way we do. That NRA are screwing us over. They're not using our money the way they want to, and the only way it's going to get changed, I think, is if there's enough members that have the balls to go to these meetings and be like, no, you're fucking us up.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. And the thing is, though, that we've been bitching about this for a freaking year, 2 years. And it seems like the NRA just give Wayne LaPierre a fucking raise. Like, what planet are these guys on?
He probably gave himself a raise. I haven't heard about that, but I'm going to guess it came from him.
But the thing that really pisses me off, and this is last.
Yeah, I only have 3 multi-million-dollar homes. I really think I deserve a raise.
This is the last thing we'll talk about.
I haven't done anything for the firearms owners of this country in the last 2 years. I really think I deserve a raise.
The last point I'll make about this is I get into arguments on Facebook and gun groups all the time. In fact, it was just last week. Some guy says, "F the NRA. They haven't done a single thing for us." And I
agreed.
I would agree with that statement. In the last 2 years, they haven't done fuck all for us.
But have you seen the last 40 years? Have you seen the things that they've done for us the last 40 years?
The last 40 years.
The past.
I don't care. The things that they have done the last. They've been the only lobbying organization that has beat back quite a few of this shit. Yes, they've had their fuck-ups and they've had their screw-ups, but guess what? They've been the only big one that was there, and they've made mistakes. They've made mistakes, but the thing is, like Box was saying, we got to right the ship rather than just abandon it and say "fuck you," and then where are we going? Who do we got? I
understand that, but
gun owners of America, yes, they're somewhere, but they're not near as big as the NRA is.
I completely agree with that, but Wayne LaPierre needs to get the fuck out of the 100%. He needs to be knocked off of the head position of the NRA. He is in it for the money, and I honestly believe he is in it for the money, and he doesn't really give a fuck about the
damn right.
average
I agree.
firearm owner of the United
I think
States.
Anybody with half a brain can understand that 100%. But so essentially, moral of the story is, think
Wayne LaPierre.
Yes, we just need to right the ship, and that's I try to tell people that you have these arguments, and he says, "Hey,
the first step is getting."
How about instead of completely abandoning them? I can't even say that word.
Abandoning.
I
bet people get sick of us mocking you. You can't talk.
Abandoning.
I'm sure they don't get sick of you mocking me, but whatever. Anyways, how about we right the ship instead of just saying screw you?
Yeah.
That's
fun little question here. Which one of you can tell me who the current president of the NRA is, though?
Didn't Chris Cox just quit?
What?
Chris Cox was the who the hell was he? He was not the
It wasn't Chris Cox, negative. But yeah, it was someone that And then they had that's what I was saying about the meetings earlier. They had a private meeting, and they said they voted unanimously. That's one word.
Unanimously.
Thank you. One word I can't say. I'm a few drinks in. But nobody really believed. It's some lady now.
Wow, I'm way off. Chris Cox is a horse trainer. Who am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
I should.
You just have Cox.
I did know.
No, Christopher William Cox is an American lobbyist and public. He was on the NRA. He was. He joined the NRA in '95. He was their chief lobbyist. Okay, so he wasn't the president. I'm not totally retarded.
It's some chick now.
3/4. What's her name?
The president.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't remember. I want to say Stephanie something, but yeah, like that whole thing was going on when the current president stepped down last year. Earlier this year or something like that.
Because there was big issues with
Carolyn Meadows.
Embezzling money. And
Carolyn
shit.
Meadows. She is a dumb bitch.
Stephanie Carolyn. I was close.
Carolyn Meadows is a stupid. Yeah, she is 3/4 of the problem. Her and oh my god.
Her and Wayne LaPierre.
She's probably she's
the entire
LaPierre's
issue.
Puppet. Boy, I'm struggling.
Puffin? Is she a
Saturday
penguin?
night, guys. Saturday night.
It has nothing to do with those 3 whiskey bottles in the middle of the table.
No,
Yeah,
that couldn't
so-
be it.
Yeah, I don't know the solution, but
Yeah,
I do know what's not the solution, and what's not
It's
the
to
solution.
just give up.
Because
Right.
you know what the left wants us to do at this point. We're doing exactly what the left wants us to do. Say, F the NRA, we're done with you. We're done with you. That's exactly what they want us to do.
Well, and
So we need to pull together and
my fear is that they're in the left's pocket.
Who?
Wayne LaPierre and this president, this Caroline, whatever.
No,
I'm not
wouldn't
sure
say
that they're in the left's pocket. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but
I could just about bet that there's donations there from the left, but you could say that about every
right, yeah,
everybody.
But that's where I get nervous, is because it's like, all of a sudden the two main people in the NRA are all of a sudden just, we're all in it for the money and we don't really care about the average firearms owner. And, it's coming at the same time as the left is really barraging the Second Amendment. And,
well, they've been doing that
they know,
since
well, I know, but they know that the only opponent they have is the NRA when it comes to congressional hearings and things like that. They know that the only opponent they have is the NRA. So it would be in their best interest to get the NRA in their pocket, right? So then all of a sudden they've got Wayne LaPierre, who is just in it for the money, clearly, because if you look at his homes and his all this shit, and he's given himself a 50% raise over the last year.
Right, but there's still a board. There's still a board. There's still a board of.
I realize there's still a board, but it's still
a little bit involved in this. What's your question?
Can Wayne LaPierre be our douche of the week?
No shit.
Douche of the week.
For like the last 8 years.
Yeah. God. So, anyways,
another one last question. Who wants to go to the NRA convention next
National
year?
Convention, I would like to.
Is it in Nashville? Where's it at? If it's in Nashville, yeah, I'll go.
I think it might have been, but I'm not sure.
Dude, I was in Nashville one time. I've told you guys this story. No? You guys didn't?
You told me, but I just get tired of hearing and listening.
So we were in Nashville, Broadway, the main drag in Nashville. Dude, you couldn't walk 15 feet without seeing the most drop dead gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life.
I've heard that.
It was ridiculous, dude. It was completely ridiculous. They were,
as a married man,
everywhere.
I don't think that's beneficial to my health.
You're probably right. But I was like, holy, it was outrageous. And then I had the best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life there.
Wow.
Yes, Sam.
It
is in Nashville.
Yeah, I'll go. When is it?
It's in April.
April?
I love how he just immediately agreed to that.
Well, we're going to Las Vegas for the SHOT Show in the end of January. That's less than 2 months away. And then we can turn around and go right down to Nashville. Hell yeah.
Maybe there's a few listeners out there that want to go with us.
Yeah, y'all want to go?
Miles, James,
give us
some of the
a
hardcore
shout.
listeners.
By the way, I talked to James about doing Freedom Fest up there in the pit.
That's the perfect location for it. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
So if y'all don't know what Freedom Fest is, we talked about it, I think, in episode 4.
We've
Probably a lot.
since
Probably a lot of episodes.
we've talked
So
about
essentially,
it
this is that. It was our first time last year. We were
Yeah.
popped our cherry.
Maybe I should lay off the whiskey for a bit.
Yeah. So anyway, we just got together with some listeners and shot some frickin' machine guns, and then we after we shot a lot of machine guns and we were good and horned up, we went to the bar and drank some alcoholic beverages. Damn, it was a fun. Oh my god,
we
it
had
was
fun,
dude.
Yeah.
That was one of
That was a good time.
We just had a freaking riot. So what the deal is, we're gonna try and do it every year. So
Freedom Fest this last year was awesome. It was just small enough that I think it made it fun, and
it wasn't out of control.
it wasn't out
just-
of control.
It was chill.
There wasn't too many people. It was a good time. But I think after this first year of doing this, I think we're ready to take on a little more our second year. So I think
I think it
I
get
would
quite
like
a
to
bit
hear-
bigger, and we can handle it.
yeah, and I think this year will be a good year to get a lot of listeners involved and really get things going and kind of step it up a little bit as far as Freedom
So
Fest
check
goes.
your
I think-
calendar off next summer, folks. Freedom
Yeah,
Fest. I don't know
early
what
summer.
day. Just check off your summer.
early June is when
Yeah,
we did it last year.
I think late
Okay,
late May,
so
early
okay,
June.
No
so
idea.
okay, is if you guys want to make it bigger, like this gave me a fucking ulcer last year, and it was pretty small. So y'all,
How did this give you an ulcer? There was
Dude,
like
man.
15 people there.
about 20 some, but I flew a
understand it.
I flew a guy down from South Dakota.
Well, yeah.
So essentially, what happened was a guy flew down in his personal plane with like 20 machine guns. Well, probably 10 to 15 machine guns. So I went over and picked him up, brought him over to the range. We rented the range out. I had to talk to the ranger over there, and it was stressful. But that's like the first time that I've done anything of that sort. But I'm just saying, if you guys wanted to make it friggin' huge, you're gonna have to help me out
I
a
have
little
something
bit.
to say.
I'll for sure help
Say
you
it
out.
up, Box. Say it up.
I'm pretty sure I kept pushing you last year to
You did.
plan, and you were like, "Dude, we got 2 weeks. Don't worry."
You did. You pushed me, but that's all you did. I'm like, I need assistance.
You didn't ask me for help.
I'll give you assistance.
Unit 73. Do you need assistance? Do you need me out there? Yes. I need help. So we can go as big, but the problem is the guy that we used last year, he was in it for. He just loves that shit. He wanted to keep it small. So if we want to go any bigger, we're gonna need.
Well, there could be
we'll
could be a few vendors there, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know how that would work, if you would be open to that or not. If there was,
like I said, I talked to James and he's open to it. And James is an SOT, so we can do some shit with him, and we'll get her figured out.
We'll get something figured out for this year. I think this year, I for sure think this year should be bigger than last year. And
Speaking of bigger than last year, why don't we move on to the next topic? Sam, you wrote that down. I think we set a record for the background checks.
Yes, we did
this month.
And we set a lot of those. The October background check number, which is the total number of background checks that NICS ran, or NCIS,
NCIS.
NICS.
No,
just call it NICS.
It's
NICS.
NICS.
Yeah.
Which one don't you Google that and find out the total number?
Johnson's
They set a record number for October checks,
which has happened several times over the last few years.
Yeah,
I think.
that happens
since
all the
2008 or something.
and it's usually in the millions. Which I if you guys don't know, I'm an FFL, so I do I got to call in background checks occasionally. And to tell you the truth, I do them, my personal ones. I do them online. So it's not so crazy, but I help out a gun shop here in town occasionally. And you got to call them in on the phone. And these people, they do, that's all they do forever, is for their living, is they answer the phone and they do background checks. So they talk so fast because that's all they ever do. That's just what they're used to. They just buzz through it, and it's so fast, and they're like, name, you're like, number, blah, 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 and they just keep just like bam, 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 and I can't keep up with it. And you guys know I don't do good with names and numbers and words, and I don't talk good, and it's confusing, and I get it's freaking rough all the time, man. So it's like these people, I freaking hate calling them in because they nail you on it.
Is there an option on the menu for slow people?
No, there's no option.
Hit one for normal service. Hit two if you're slow.
When you call in, and half the time I'm saying, excuse me, can you repeat that? Slower, please. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
You're better about that than I am. When that happens to me on any kind of customer service
Okay.
I'm just like, what?
All right. So the numbers for which year do you want to compare it to? I mean, it's gone up.
All I care about is the numbers.
So
how many background checks? Does it tell you?
In October of 2019, it was 2,393,609.
What was the year before?
2,086,000.
So essentially, it's 2 million most month.
This year it has been 2.6 million, 2.1, 2.0, 2.6, 2.3, 2.3.
So essentially 2 million. Essentially, this is what we're talking about. It's been over 2 million. They're doing background checks every single month. 2 million background checks, and that's essentially saying yes, this person can have a firearm. So we're getting 2 million new firearms into the market every single year.
Every month.
Every single month. And guess what? The gun crime is not skyrocketing. It's actually going the other direction.
Okay, so if we compare this to 2009, a decade ago, it goes 1.2, 1.2, 1.3, 1.2, 1.0,
right. So
900,000, 900,000, 1.0, 1.0.
So it's
1.
doubled
2.
in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't have thought that.
The gun sales in the last
impressive.
10 years have doubled.
How many of those do you think are repeat buyers?
I think.
Or how many are you think are new buyers, rather?
I think a good amount are repeat buyers. I'm
positive they are.
But I think a massive,
I think repeat buyers.
I would say 95% are repeat
buyers. I don't know that I'd go as high as 95%, but I would say upwards of 80% are repeat
hovering
buyers.
in the 90. Yeah,
I don't know because well, in the last 10 years, the background checks have doubled. The sales have essentially doubled. I think there's a lot of new people getting into this.
I think there is too, but I don't think it's that much of a percentage. I don't think it's 1 million people a month.
I don't know, because a lot of people that I talk to that I would never think, like, well, you guys know Jordan, my best friend. I never, thought him and his wife would be purchasing a gun, but that's what they're moving towards.
That's a sample size of one.
Yes, but there's been a lot of other people that I spoke, and it's just,
I understand, and I don't think the percentages are there for that. I really
so
think,
you're thinking time out. What you're thinking is ownership.
I think that 85 to 90%.
Are you thinking percentages are going down of gun ownership?
No.
So I'm no mathematician.
I'm saying that current gun owners are buying more guns now than they have in the past. I think there are new gun owners. I think there's more new gun owners, but the fact that there's such a higher number, the fact that the number has doubled in background checks, that the amount of those, so you went from 1 million to 2 million. I think that maybe 100,000 of those are new gun owners.
No freaking way, dude.
I think so.
No
I think that because gun owners
look at the attacks on guns in the last 10 years. I've seen so many people getting into this because they say, "Hey, I want to buy an AR because they're trying to ban that shit," and that's why people are jumping on the bandwagon.
And that's previous and that's current gun owners.
No,
I think more gun owners are going, "Hey, there's a lot more attack on the Second Amendment because other people who aren't firearms owners they're not seeing the news the same way that we are.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
I've literally had people that are not gun owners come up and talk to me about this and say, "Hey, I'm a gun owner."
I realize
now
that, but I don't think that's the majority of that
percentage
of increase. I don't think that's the percentage of
Agree to
increase.
disagree.
I might have misheard something, but it sounded like you said 100,000 people of what are new gun buyers.
That's
That's
guesstimation.
what he thought. 100,000
So
out
per
of
what?
a million.
Per
He thought
that-
10% were new gun buyers out of the
So-
last 10 years.
Yeah, so over the last 10 years, we've increased background checks by 1 million, right?
Mhm.
So I think 100,000 of those per month are new gun owners versus repeat gun owners.
That's what
Because I think prior gun owners are going, hey, I need to buy these while I can. ARs are cheap. I need to buy them while I can. And I think that is a vast majority of the background checks.
But
that
I
are
don't
going
think
through.
first-time gun buyers out there are going, oh, this is the time that I need to buy an AR. I don't. I think most
I don't
first-time
think so
gun.
either. I think they're buying pistols.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that
What does it
that's-
matter? It doesn't matter
I'm
if they're buying
saying-
ARs or pistols. They got to have
No,
background checks.
I
on
understand
either
that,
one.
but I'm saying I think the 100,000 out of that million that I see as being new gun owners are going, hey, it's getting a little shady out here with this whole Second Amendment thing. Maybe I should look into getting a pistol. And so they do it. But I think 900,000 out of those million new background checks are current gun owners saying, I need to stock up.
I don't agree. I think it's going the other direction. I think
I like your optimism, and I think that is optimistic thinking, and I think that is
Johnson,
the way
I'll
it
tell
should
you,
go.
Johnson,
but
I'll tell
I really
you,
don't believe it.
I'll tell you the reasoning for my thinking is I'm involved. That's what I do for a living, and I'm not taking this as just optimism. I take this as shit that I see as I make my living, because I see so many more new people jumping into this. I think there's a lot more new people involved than you think there is. I think there's a lot more people involved jumping on and saying, "Hey, I want to protect myself." Want to protect myself than most people think.
Time out. You think it's more than what Johnson thinks?
Absolutely.
I think it's 10%. He thinks it's more than 10%.
He thinks that there's only 10% of new gun buyers are getting in on
10% of the NICS background checks is new gun buyers. is what
yes,
you're
and
saying.
I think it's far. I think it's.
And what was the background checks for October? 2.6 or something?
2.6 million.
They've increased in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I got that
By a
much.
million.
260,000 new gun buyers is what you're saying. Is that right?
That's my guess.
Over the last year?
Yep.
No, over the last 10 years. This has been from.
Okay, yep.
So
you're right.
Johnson, all I'm saying is I think it's far more new gun people are jumping into this than most people think. And
I think it's roughly 10%.
And the only reason I'm saying this is because I see this I do this as a living.
Yeah, but
and
you're looking at your business, and that's.
No, I'm looking at the people that come to me and tell me
Right.
this.
And
And
I
tell
think,
me this
I
and
think,
say,
that's,
hey,
I
I
think
wanna
that's
be-
fairly localized.
Yeah, but remember, Sam, we almost elected Hillary because of nothing other than California.
No, we didn't almost elect her. She got crushed.
Because of California.
Right. I personally think the things that you're seeing are fairly localized, and I think nationally, I think roughly 10% are new gun owners.
But where
That's
are
my
you getting
opinion.
this from, though? You have no
I
opinion
said,
other than
But
that's my opinion.
but my business. I mean, I am a kind
Your
of a
business
national.
is in a town of 4,000
And
people
I do national
in the
business.
middle of butt nowhere.
Right, but I do business nationally.
I understand that, but not everyone in the nation knows of your business.
Right. Okay, so here's the deal.
And-
We can argue about this all night. But I'm gonna do a
All
little
right,
bit
let's
of
do
research.
it. Let's argue about it all night.
I'm gonna
it's going to
do
be a
it-
12-hour podcast, folks.
I am gonna do a little bit of research, and I feel like I'm probably gonna come out on top. But if I don't, what should we?
You
What should
just
we
like to
wager
be
on
on top.
Yeah. What should we wager on this? Because I think
he's a
think
pillow
I'm
biter.
correct.
Sorry.
God damn it.
I don't know what you said, but
It wasn't
He
nice.
said you're a pillow biter.
rude.
Oh.
Rude. So okay, I'm gonna research this and we'll find out. And when it comes to the next podcast, we'll have the correct answer rather than just skepticism and
Actually, I think I
freaking
can-
bullshit.
What's the worst whiskey we have?
I think
back
I can
here?
look that up because there's background checks versus rechecks, right?
They have no way to check. It is what it is.
There's permit rechecks.
No, there's not. It is what it is. I don't think they have a way to. Anyways, Johnson, we can look this up later.
Yep.
So the next podcast, we will come in and we'll say who was correct or incorrect.
My guess is 10%.
I think it's more than that. I'm gonna go with the price. The Price is Right and say it's a little bit more than that.
That's not the Price is Right method. You have to say 11%.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all, Sam.
Yes, you fucking jackasses. I know how that works.
So what's your
I bet $100, Bob. Well, I bet more than that, Bob.
I'm gonna say 11% because all I want to do is fucking beat your ass. So.
Okay.
That's not the number I want to bet, Bob.
So, anyways, holy shnikes! How long have we been talking about this shit?
We rambled about politics. And
I'm sorry. Any of you poor sons of bitches still listen to this podcast?
People
we
like long
apologize.
podcasts, Sam. I don't know why you don't get
Let's
that.
get on to the badass of the week.
Yeah, well,
this week.
I am woefully unprepared for that.
Woefully unprepared.
I'm not
Oh,
even sure
man.
if I'm using that word right.
Is
I'm
that a
just
word of the week?
I'm just kind of buzzed.
WOEFULLY. Yes.
Not gonna lie. Johnson could probably actually tell us more about this, man.
Come on, Box.
This is the.
You didn't do
this
any
is the
research?
one.
Okay.
No, this is the one.
When I was sitting here on the
Johnson-
couch and you guys were yelling at me for being quiet is when I was reading.
I
all of it.
figured
Yeah.
that was
So this week's badass of the week is actually the first Medal of Honor that was caught on tape.
If you don't, I did do a little bit of reading, Johnson. If you don't have details about him,
I just can't, for the sake of me, remember his name, which is
it's
terrible.
John Chapman.
John Chapman.
He was awarded the Medal of Honor here in 2018, and he was killed in action in 2002.
Was it 2002?
Yeah,
it was that far.
It was
ago?
2002.
Okay.
Yep.
So
It was in one of the I think the second largest battle of the Afghanistan war. I can't remember what they called that. I'm trying to find that here.
So it was all recorded by a CIA Predator drone.
Mm-hmm.
The footage of this battle that he was in was all caught on. I always want to say tape, but we don't use tape anymore.
No, this is
Right.
2019, man.
It was a
It's
very
right.
old drone. It may have been.
this was recorded on hard drive.
Yeah. So it was all recorded on video, by a CIA.
But it was
Predator
at like
drone.
3 or 4 in the morning also. So
Yeah, so it was all
just
thermal.
awful graphics.
all thermal footage. Yeah, John Chapman, he ended up saving 23 people. He ended up saving the lives of 23 people before he succumbed to his wounds.
Wombs.
He was earning posthumous Medal of Honor, and he took like 16 gunshots.
I didn't get a number on that. But
I think he took I think they recorded at least a minimum of 16 gunshots. They were battling on top of a mountain. It was covered in snow. He was trudging through the snow. There was a bunch of the enemies were basically buried down in a bunch of rock formations and stuff, and they had like machine gun turrets inside these rock formations and stuff, and he was basically running straight up the mountain through the snow, just firing like a crazy man, smoking these guys in these rock formations, and took a bunch of shots. Ended up unconscious in one of the in one of the like bunkers that they had, one of the defensive structures, ended up coming to, woke back up, continued to fight, went back up to another installment of enemies, took them out.
That was where there was a machine gun on that second one, and
Yes.
he took himself out of cover, knowing that he was just gonna get lit up, just to save his teammates.
Yeah. And he ended up saving like 23 teammates, but it was incredible. Just if you want to watch this, if you just, Google or YouTube, First Medal of Honor caught on video, this guy took so many shots. He's running up this mountain. There's basically no cover. He's running through feet of snow, just trudging through snow, firing where he can, trying to find the enemy. Just, it's the middle of the night. You can't see anything except muzzle flash. He's basically firing at muzzle flash where he thinks the enemy is. He took tons of shots, but he knew he had to keep going. He just kept forging on, trying to.
I watched this.
Well,
I came across this. I watched this video. Now that you guys are talking about it, I saw this months and months and months ago, and it was one of the most. It was an extremely emotional video. They're just telling his story as he went along, and oh my gosh, can you imagine just being that dude? Like, what is going through your head while you're fighting over there in the middle of bumfuck nowhere?
I think there was nothing in his head other than saving his squad mates' lives. Which I get.
It was I don't even know how to describe the video. That's all it was thermal,
Yeah, you didn't see much. It was just dots running around on the ground.
But you could see their forms and the shapes of them, and it was. I've never seen a video as emotional that was as just there was no real footage to it. All you could see was kind of, it looked like Pac-Man damn near,
right.
It was just this,
but this guy was a team member through and through, you know what I mean? It was all about the team, and he knew what he needed to do to save his team, and he did everything and more that his body could handle to save his team. This guy took at least 16 shots, from a very close range. I mean, he was fighting the enemies that he was fighting going up this mountain to these installments, and they were like armored installments and rocks and everything, and they had like Dishkas and all kinds of other machine guns and AKMs and things like that.
This isn't like friggin' 22. This is like 7.62 type shit, which really, is massive wounds.
I did read also the information or the intelligence that they were given was wrong, and they only told them that there's a few hundred Al Qaeda or whatever up there, but it turned out there was like 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this I guess we haven't mentioned this, but this was a rescue operation for these guys. There had already been a helicopter shot down, and they were going to rescue another guy. Yeah,
there was a crashed helicopter with a team there, and him and his team landed there, and his team ended up having to fall back. But this dude just kept charging forward, and he took out one installation, moved up to the next installation, took it out. Passed out because he was shot so many times, woke up, kept fighting, kept moving forward. The guy was just...
Well, his squad mates thought he was dead already.
Right.
One of them was watching him. Like, he was laying there unconscious on the ground, and you could tell he was still alive because he could see his rifle rising and falling on his chest. But then he stopped seeing that, so they had assumed he was just dead. And some people thought that the rest of them just left him behind to die, but he just kept fighting for like an hour after that, apparently.
Yeah. And dude was just...
I also read in his high school yearbook, he quoted the motto, "Give yourself before taking of someone else." And apparently, like everyone he knew, they were like, "Yeah, that's how he lived his life. That's the kind of guy he was." And apparently,
live that out.
He proved it.
Live that out. Yeah. Just, I mean,
well, as always,
if you guys have a few minutes, just Google it or YouTube it and just watch this guy just fight through complete adversity. I mean, you can't imagine more adversity than getting shot 16 times, getting, just running through, knee-high snow, trying to get to cover, and just, I mean, the guy was just one of the baddest guys you could ever imagine.
As usual, this is always one of my favorite episodes. I don't know. It just makes you feel like we're sitting in our freaking nice, heated ass, comfy garage, talking into our freaking microphones because crazy sons of bitches like that do what they do, and they feel the call, or they hear the call, and they go and do what they have to do. So that's always something that weighs on me heavily, I guess. Every time that I think Life Short Live Free was founded on the concept of we're appreciative of these people that do what they do, and many times I'll put up a status as I did on Thanksgiving, and I said, we should be thankful for the people that paid the ultimate sacrifice and did what they did. And it never fails that every single time that I sit here and write one of those statuses, I'm not too proud that to tell you that I always well up, usually do when I think about the things that these people went through for us, and I'm not too proud to tell you that. And I think that's important that we as Americans, we remember every single freaking day, not just on Memorial Day or not just on Veterans Day, the things that these people went through. I think that we should be doing that every single freaking day. And we in here, we're based out of Kingsley, Iowa, and there's a veteran here, a guy that we grew up with that gave his life. So we see his family, they miss him every day, and we see that a lot, and we realize the importance of recognizing that. But anyways, to get out of this.
You guys want to hug it out quick?
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Moving to something a little more uplifting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know what's more uplifting than that that crazy son of a bitch did what he did, and that is true. That's freaking awesome. So how about we move into somebody?
Let's move into judging people now.
Well, let's judge the shit out of some sons of bitches. Johnson, we got the what a douche.
So this week for a what a douche, there was an Ohio man who was attempting to rob a bank. He slipped the teller a note to tell that person, the teller, that he was robbing the bank.
He signed it, didn't he?
Well, it was
printed his name.
It was on the backside. The teller read the note, flipped it over, and realized that it was
his business card.
It was
surely he didn't have a business card.
Note that he had used at the DMV, or it was a piece of paperwork from the DMV where he had been earlier.
With his name and address on it.
With his name and address. So it was a 54-year-old man, outside of Cleveland, Ohio. It had his name and address scrawled on the back that he had used at the DMV earlier that day. He went to rob the bank. The teller took the note, flipped it over, saw his name, and the teller reportedly complied with his demands, gave him $206.
He robbed the bank for $206.
$206 before calling the authorities. And actually,
That wasn't even all the money in the register, was it?
No.
She was just like, here, have some money and shut up.
Get the fuck out of here.
She actually referred to him by his name, Michael. He was a regular customer at this bank, mind you.
Did he have a mask on?
No.
He didn't have a mask on?
No.
Wow, this is intelligent.
This is the security camera footage.
Wow, that's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He really thought this through.
Yeah. So he just shows up, hands her this note, like, I don't know what the note says. This is a stick up or,
Hey, give me your money.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Michael. Give me some money.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, Michael. So, here's the money in the till, Michael. Trying to give him hints that she knew who he was, and he just didn't get it.
Maybe he was just baked out of his mind and he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, so she actually even referred to him as Michael, gave him the money, called him Michael, and said, "Thank you, Michael," on the way out as she notified law enforcement.
She thanked him.
Thank you for taking our money, Michael.
Michael Harrell, who was a frequent customer, has been arrested in the robbery. So, it obviously didn't take them long to track this dude down and arrest him. But it was like, what kind of idiot says, you know what, this piece of paper that I took the DMV earlier that has my name and address on it, I'm going to flip it over. And
I imagine they probably they were probably met him at his house.
Probably.
They were sitting there on his porch waiting for him. He was like, oh.
Hey, dumbass.
He's like, what are you guys here for?
He clearly wasn't.
Can I help you, Ossifer?
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah, that's one of our more intelligent
dumber
douches,
criminals of the week. Yeah.
Douches of the day. Which he probably would go good with this next girl that I'm going to talk. And this is our last segment, guys. Well, hell, this ain't even a segment. This is I saw this today. Butthole sunning.
Exit.
So
lost all of our listeners there.
So this lady,
and now introducing our next segment. Butthole tan.
This lady has I don't know, it's like 16,000 Instagram followers or something like that, and she talks about the health benefits of sunning her
rectum.
Sunning her butthole.
Is she also a scientist?
So she look at the picture.
Oh
there.
my god!
It's exactly what you think it is. So she basically is laying out on a rock in this photo and is grabbing her toes. And
use your imagination, and you pretty much got it.
Yeah, you done got it. But she says there's benefits to this.
But where does she get these benefits from? Like I asked before, is she a scientist or is she just... I don't ask if she's nuts. Clearly, she's crazy as shit.
She's clearly crazy. But she says it's the equivalent of a full day of sunshine with your clothes on. So she says there's a number of health benefits to doing this.
Your butthole absorbs more sunshine than the rest of your body.
Apparently. There's better sleep, more energy, better sex drive. She also claims it helps to attract something called your soul tribe, or people who are in the same frequency and wavelength as you.
Oh my God, she's nuts.
So, Box, I mean, have you seen what she's doing?
More nuts than I initially thought. I thought she might just think, hey, I like to get a little sun on my butt. But now she's like, no, there's some real reasons behind this.
Well, it looks like she's out in the country, but I don't know.
That was just an Instagram photo. She's out on her lawn on Main Street every day.
I feel like her neighbors have probably heavily invested in binoculars.
I don't know. Is there just a normal picture of her? Is she gross?
Oh, Google metaphysical Megan.
No wonder. Yeah.
She's also gained quite a few followers here at this point.
No shit, because there's a viral article on her.
So
most of them are probably to laugh at her.
I can see where she could say there's sex drive benefits. Well, because if she's sitting out on a rock naked, holding her toes,
She's gonna get more sex. The guy's just driving by. I'll be like, well,
Holy shit! Check
Park
that
it.
out. Put this bitch in park. I'm gonna check this out.
yeah.
Oh God!
Trying real hard to hold myself back here.
Oh,
A lot of things I could say.
don't hold back, Box. Don't hold back. Yes, she's actually pretty. That's not her.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, you guys are aware of the hot crazy scale, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
I'm
Metaphysical Megan.
Hold on. I'm going to
Megan.
open her Instagram here. We'll
Is
see.
she a hairdresser?
Well, that's the first picture on
Holy
her Instagram. Hold on. She's actually like, she's cute.
She's average.
She's clearly batshit crazy.
Yep. So
Offering a new perspective
Let's
on
call her up.
sexual-
Let's get her on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Can we get her on the Box? Can you handle that?
Hell yeah.
I mean, she's cute.
You know how I am. I can get any girl's number.
Oh, yeah. But I don't see any pictures of her showing her butthole. Well, yeah.
That was just an Instagram photo.
Nope, there it is. Nailed it right there.
there it is.
They don't tell you how many likes anymore because Instagram went this way of we're not going to show you how many likes there are because
And
we don't want
others.
people to be offended.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they don't
Liked
tell
by
you.
this person and others.
But it does have 2,300 comments, so you can just about guess that there's a
So
whole shitload
did you-
of likes.
Did you see the
99% of them are numbers.
Did you see the?
Numbers.
I don't know what you call it. A title,
Caption.
caption, perennium sunning.
What's a perennial? Yeah, I saw that.
For the
What's a
past few
perennium?
weeks, I have included sunning my bum and yoni.
Okay. Anyways,
Into
so
daily
we've been
rise.
talking about this for far too
Like
long.
what the? Fuck?
This is your idea, and you're already jumping off of this train?
Yeah, she's cuter than shit though.
Perennium.
Let's see if we can get. Let's see if
God.
we can get her on here, Box. That'd be interesting.
Perineum is the space between the anus and the scrotum.
Okay. All right. Well.
So the taint.
Anyways, if
So
you-
we're taint tanning.
if you yeah.
Typical Saturday night podcast. You
Butt-
guys are welcome.
taint tanning, butthole bronzing, whatever you want.
Hold on. So
Call
we're
it.
butthole bronzing and we're taint tanning. But what happened to bleaching?
Yeah. Well,
It's
I
going
don't
in the
know.
opposite way now, apparently.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's my question: why was that ever a thing in the first place? Because was there
'Cause
ever a point in your life
people are
when you saw the
freaking
color of it
weird.
and you're just like,
Well, hey, if you tan your taint and you bleach your rectum.
no? Oh my God. The contrast.
There's a real good contrast.
good
contrast would be more.
Well,
oh
that's
my
what
God.
I'm-
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. It's
I'm
like,
effectively ending this.
Do you remember how people frosted their tips
Oh, yeah.
in the 90s? That's
Sure.
the same thing.
The contrast, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's frosted tips for your butthole.
Oh, boys.
That's what's happening here.
All right, this
We're going down a Howard Stern road here.
This was totally my own fault. I'll take 100%
yeah, you
responsibility
this
for
was
this.
your idea,
But
Sam.
you know
Oh,
what?
God.
Damn it, we had a good time. And you know what? If you were offended by this, I'm really actually surprised that you made it this far in the podcast.
Yeah, and
anyway,
we
so,
don't care.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was going to say.
we pretty much don't give a shit. But if you did make it this far, once again, we're appreciative. Thank you for paying attention to us. We had a damn good time. Hopefully, Toad will be back our next episode. We miss him.
We're going to have to ask how he feels on taint tanning.
Yeah, ask his opinion of it. But of course, check out
Hey, opinions are like assholes.
everybody bleaches them.
Or tans them.
So check out, of course, Life Short Live Free on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all over the place. Check us out. Our sponsor, Shyworks, shyworks.com, and on Facebook as well, Instagram too. And check out Ballistic Imagery. He does all of our videography. Most of our
Ballistic
images,
Imagery might qualify as a sponsor at this point, huh?
I think so.
possibly.
I mean, where would you be without all my cameras and lights and shit?
Yeah, well, probably still sitting on the couch if you had. So yeah, check all those out, and once again, guys, we appreciate it. Boy, it's been a fun one, even without Toad. Toad, we miss you. if you're listening to this. Hope you don't die and you can join us again next time. So, yeah, you guys have anything to say, or that's about it?
No, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have tried any of these whiskeys, let us know.
Or if there's any out there that we should try.
Yeah, let us.
Because
Yeah.
usually these purchases we make are a last-minute purchase, and we're
Yeah,
just like,
so
oh,
give
this
us
looks good.
Give us some suggestions on whiskeys to try. That would be good.
Absolutely.
Something that you think could take out the old 1792 right here. Something that you think could top the charts.
We've got a pretty good podium there, I think.
I think that's a strong podium.
We're getting there. I don't feel like the Jim Beam Vanilla that's going to be next week's Whiskey of the Week is probably going to bust into the top 3, but it is what it is. You know, I was at Walmart. It was on sale. I was like, all right, screw it. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you listening to us. If you have enjoyed us, please share us with your friends. We're trying to get a bigger listening audience. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And until we're back in 2 weeks.
Rate us on all your podcast providers.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Or 1 star if you hated it.
Yeah.
So, we like to laugh at the 1 stars. That's fun, too.
Anyways, guys, thank you. We love you. Until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless you guys.
High five, guys.
High five.
Very nice.
That was a very unenthusiastic high five. I'm pretty disappointed.
High five. That was good.
Feels so good to have these off my head.